This is me. I'm Kylie, and this is Everyday Ambo. I'm a retired paramedic, and I've got life lessons to share. This is lesson number 4. I'm not good enough. In this episode, I'm going to discuss what good is and who gets to decide. I'm also going to share how not being good has changed my life and how it can change yours too. Have you ever been told that you're not good enough? Some of us have been told our whole lives that we aren't good enough. It starts in childhood when someone tells you you have to be good. And then the next thing you know, someone is upset because you weren't good enough. And this is how it begins, our education about what is good and what is bad. At first, it seems pretty straightforward and easy to determine. People clap and they cheer and they give encouraging looks when you've been good. And they do the complete opposite when you haven't, waving their fingers, shaking their heads, scowling at you and raising their voices. This seems pretty clear, so we aim for more of the celebrations and veer away from the finger wagging. But then something happens, and one person asks you to do something and someone else doesn't like it, and then suddenly you have 2 opposing opinions on what is good. Now things are starting to get complicated. When one good deed isn't determined as equal, I learnt I had to figure out what each person liked and make sure I got it right for each of them. Learning that I have to know what is good for one person and what is good for another. But do you know what happened next? Just when I figured out what was good for one person one day, it wasn't good the next. This is when I started to think, hold on a second. I'm sure you were happy enough yesterday. What is happening? Is it just me, or do we all spend our lives trying to figure out what the rules are? Wondering what makes other people happy so we can keep them happy. Like it's everybody else's job to make others happy, and we have done a good job if we can achieve it. What is good anyway? And who gets to decide? As it turns out, good is a simple word and as deep as the ocean, as it has a whole lot of different meanings. It can be morally right or virtuous, meaning that someone is good based on their character being liked, kind or honest. It can mean that something is pleasant or enjoyable, such as the day can be good, or a piece of cake can be good. It can also mean that something has a good functional effectiveness and it works well or is a good solution. Like having a good hammer. Good can mean someone has a skill or a talent that is good for a job. Is there ever really a good clown? And finally, good can mean it is beneficial and healthy, as in good for you, such as an apple. Apparently, some thinkers out there have thought that good creates happiness. Therefore, the more goodness you have, the happier you can be. So therefore, they try and stockpile goodness. But this seems subjective to me. So how do we decide what is good? Apparently, it can be as simple as a gut feeling, a moral intuition that we can feel without necessarily a reason that we are aware of. Sometimes having consequences can help us, and if the outcome is good, then the decision must have been good, right? Other times there are rules, and some people believe that it's good to follow the rules, no matter what the outcome. It's the rules that make it good. What about good people? When someone is kind, compassionate and honest, that makes them good, right? And what about cultural norms and religious commands? If everyone is doing it and the instructions come from above, then that's got to be the goodest of all, surely. So this leads me to understand that good is pretty subjective. So then I wonder, who gets to determine what's good? Is it up to me as the individual? Well, what happens if I'm the odd one out and everyone thinks something else? So maybe it's collectively as a group. But what if none of them know what they're doing? And what about the ones in the power seats? Can we trust them to be good and to do good? Maybe we should just do what we've always done. Or let the one who can disagree the loudest make the choice. I have to admit that this is all pretty confusing. It's not a wonder it's so hard to get it right. And even if we do get it right, does that even make it good? With the development of PTSD, I became very emotionally dysregulated. What that means is I lost my own inner control over my emotional state, and that left me very vulnerable to the push and the pull of the external environment and all the people in it. It turns out that being out of control of your own emotional state is very dangerous. It leaves you vulnerable to the will of others and the mercy of their wishes. People have all sorts of wishes for their interactions with others, and with that comes expectations of how they expect that you will behave when they interact with you. Much like training a dog, they use this to determine how good you are. PTSD took away my ability to control the choices I was making, as it erodes the prefrontal cortex of the brain, which is the part we use to make our choices. I had always been pretty good at being good, even when I hadn't always felt so inclined. What used to be good for me was making sure that everybody else was happy, and I was pretty good at that. When we are unable to control our emotions or make choices based on what we understand are the social expectations, we lose our ability to be good at being good. I lost my ability to manage my emotions, and this meant my emotions were now on display and making others uncomfortable, and that's not very good. But unfortunately, just because we lose our ability to judge when and how to be good, other people don't lose their judgment. Others don't understand, and they continue to have expectations that we are good. They continue to judge us according to their rules and hold true to their right to judge. Unable to follow the rules, the expectations seem very unfair. I like to be good, and I have very high expectations of myself. I've always done my very best to be as good as possible in all the varying contexts so that I didn't unnecessarily upset anyone. That doesn't mean I didn't necessarily upset anyone. I did, just not without necessity. Of course, truth be told, people-pleasing doesn't always turn out so well, as the hard truth often gets out and upsets everyone. So when PTSD took away my ability to people-please, it was discovered that I'm not good enough for some. And I have to agree. In terms of what good is and who gets to determine, it all depends on who you ask and their understanding of the term. If you ask me, it might not be that I'm not good enough, but more a case that I'm as good as I'm going to get. And that's pretty good. And whether that's enough, well, that's completely up to you. If you think I'm good enough, hit the like button. It'll help me with the algorithm and allow me to share my message. Thanks for listening.